What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, two-time unified heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer Anthony Joshua has a stern message for legendary, former undisputed heavyweight world champion, iconic superstar boxer Iron Mike Tyson. He says that it's great that Iron Mike Tyson is staying in shape. He said it's great that Iron Mike Tyson wants to make a comeback and is putting on these exhibition bouts. He said it's great that, him and Roy Jones, who are two legends within the sport of boxing, are going to do business and have a showdown. He says, but the thing is, you look at Mike Tyson and you see him on those pads and people are getting the wrong message. He says people are getting the wrong idea. And you're taking that as if he can compete with the upper echelon of the heavyweight division. He says he's hearing a lot of chatter and a lot of people saying that after this exhibition with Roy Jones, should he be successful and look great, then he should come back and compete for a world title and fight the upper echelon, right? We even heard legends like Bernard Hopkins, who's a former multi-division world champion, legend, iconic superstar boxer, world champion in his own right, say that he believed Mike Tyson, at the age of 54, coming off a 15-year layoff, could be undisputed in today's heavyweight division, in today's heavyweight boxing. And Anthony Joshua has now responded to that. He says he has a message for Mike Tyson. The way he looks on the pads, quote, he said the way he looks on the pads is all muscle memory. He says it looks great, but that's something he's been doing since he was 13, 12, 9 years old, right? Since he was a little kid. He says, so that's muscle memory. You're not going to lose that, even though you age. He says, so he looks explosive on the pads. But at the end of the day, we have to keep in mind that those pads are not hitting back. Today, we are bigger, stronger, faster. Technology has grown. He says, so I believe that even if he was in his prime, he wouldn't be able to compete with us. I think that we would be able to beat him in his prime. So he's speaking for the heavyweight division. We hear the chatter that he could beat Tyson Fury. He could beat Deontay Wilder. He could beat Anthony Joshua, right? He could become undisputed, right? So Anthony Joshua is putting a halt to all that talk. He's saying, yes, we are too big, too strong, too athletic, and science today's time is too great to allow us to lose to Mike Tyson. He says he was great for his time, and I take my hat off to him. But he needs to stay fighting guys from his era. If he's going to compete against guys from his era or guys that's older, he says, I'm all for it. But when he starts to talk about transitioning into facing us, the upper echelon of active fighters today's time, he's making a grave mistake and we will knock him out. Wow, end quote. So Anthony Joshua says that, and then he also, let me make sure I make this clear, he also stated that you can never be sure with the eras when comparing the eras, but he says that he believes his era of boxers would beat that era, the yesteryear era of boxing, Mike Tyson's era. He says because we're just bigger, stronger, and faster, right? He says, and we have skills. We're just not bigger, stronger, and faster, but we have skills. He says, but you can never be too sure. No one knows, only one knows, right? But I agree with Anthony Joshua when it comes to Mike Tyson. I think it's utterly ridiculous that people actually believe that at the age of 54, coming off a 15-year layoff, that he could compete with today's upper echelon in the heavyweight division, right? It's just not feasible. It's not possible. It won't happen, right? Like Anthony Joshua stated, that looks great on the pads because it's muscle memory. He's always going to be able to do that, right? He's always going to look explosive, especially if he's staying in shape and taking care of his body and eating right? So I agree with Anthony Joshua. Mike Tyson could do this maybe 2 rounds. After that, he's done. And he never did too well with guys that were this big. You understand? You're talking about Anthony Joshua, 6'6", 240 pounds. Deontay Wilder is 6'7", 230 pounds. You're talking about Tyson Fury, 6'9", 275 pounds, okay? These guys are enormous. They are absolutely enormous. Mike Tyson is all of 5'10", 5'11", and he comes in at about 215 to 220 pounds. Mike Tyson, especially at the age of 54 years old, cannot compete with the upper echelon today's heavyweights. These guys are younger, these guys are stronger, and they're hungry, right? They're looking to make a name. They're looking to make a statement. You best believe if you get Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, or Tyson Fury, even Dillian White, Alexander Usyk, and guys on that level, right? They're going to be looking to make a statement against Mike Tyson. He won't fare well, point blank and period. It's just not in him. He don't have it. He's 54 years old. He looks great for what he's doing. But I agree. He needs to stay fighting guys that are his era, his age. Fighting Evander Holyfield. Fighting maybe a Lennox Lewis. Fighting a Shannon Briggs. Even Shannon Briggs is pushing the needle. Because Shannon Briggs is not that old. He's 47. But Shannon Briggs is far more active than they are. Right? And he's still 7 years younger, seven years younger than Mike Tyson. You understand? So, I agree with Anthony Joshua wholeheartedly. I think that Mike Tyson needs to stick to his age bracket. And Mike Tyson also made mention that this is like a 50 and over league tournament that he's looking to enter. But obviously he's going to get the itch, the hunger to look. If people keep telling Mike Tyson that he can compete for a world title and become undisputed, he'll start to believe it. And, he could get seriously hurt. I don't know any boxing commission that would sanction this, but I think it's very dangerous for Mike Tyson to try to attempt to compete with the upper echelon and try to win a world title. So I agree with Anthony Joshua. But let's see how this all plays out. September 12th, you have Roy Jones Jr., and you have to take into consideration that Roy Jones has never been really a heavyweight. He competed at heavyweight one time against Ruiz. He won the fight, and that was it. He's a light heavyweight to super middleweight at best, right? He's not even a cruiserweight. So this is who Mike Tyson is competing against, and Roy Jones has been knocked out drastically in his career. More notably, those two back-to-back knockouts he suffered at the hands of Antonio Tarver and then Glenn Johnson. Roy Jones, at 51 years old, he relied on his reflexes. He never was the most technical boxer. He did things that you just would never teach in the sport of boxing to the youth coming up. But he was so gifted, he was so athletic that he could get away with it. But he was never technical. And when his reflexes started to fade, he started to show signs, and he started to pay the price for it, right? He could no longer respond defensively to get out the way, and he paid for it. So I'm expecting to see, even with big gloves on and headgear on, a possibility of Mike Tyson with his strength and his size and his ferociousness, they possibly knock out Roy Jones. But this is the proper age bracket for Mike Tyson, not Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury. I agree with Anthony Joshua. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, or one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.